Hey, what's up, radio? Welcome to episode number 16 here on season 2. And today we are getting into why am I buying every ETF on Stash? This question comes from Pablo Rojas. And he asked, I've seen several videos by different people and some don't think it's a good idea to buy every single stock on Stash or ETF. I thought the diversification would be good, ... What is your reason behind buying every ETF? First of all, great question. This is something that I wanted to talk about for quite a while. Just haven't really got around to it. And so I appreciate the question that forced me to now answer the question. So I'm not going to say that it's a bad idea to own every single ETF. I don't think it's ever a bad idea to own a lot of ETFs. I just know that what I believe that they're getting at is that owning a smaller percentage or a smaller amount of ETFs will create larger growth or can potentially give you a bigger growth percentage year over year or whatever it may be. For instance, if I put all my money onto one stock and that stock goes up 50% or 100%, then I make 100% off of my money. However, if I put 50% into one stock and then 50% into another stock and one stock goes up 100%, then I made 50% interest or 50% return and the other stock stayed the same, then I only made basically 50% profit. So that's what they're getting at, is that, yeah, the smaller, the less ETFs that you own, the potentially the bigger growth that can happen. However, same side, different coin, different side, same coin, you can lose a lot of money same way. And so that's where diversification comes in, is that you want to have a certain amount so that way your portfolio doesn't fluctuate as much. And so you're not like, oh, I'm riding everything on this one stock or this one ETF, where if you had like 10 to 15, I think that that's pretty good diversification. The reason why I say 10 to 15 is I think that that's great if you're doing dollar cost averaging. That gives you enough options. I would say that even if you went down to 5, in my opinion, 5 would be reasonable as long as you're managing that properly by dollar cost averaging, rebalancing when necessary, like once, twice, maybe 3 times a year, and so on and so forth. I personally, in my personal account, my personal stash account, I have about 60, or I will have 65 to 70% of all my money in the big 4. So for me, the big 4 for me is Delicious Dividends, Real Estate Tycoon, Park My Cash, and then All That Glitters. So it'll be 25% in Delicious Dividends, 25% into Park My Cash, 10% into Real Estate Tycoon, or 10 to 15. I haven't decided on whether I'll go 15% or just 10, and then 5% into All That Glitters. The rest of the amount, so the 30% of that, the last 30% to bring it up to 100 will be all the other ETFs. So really, it's not that much money that's going into all the other ETFs. I basically write it off as like, I've got 5 stocks, and of that, the last stock or the last ETF is all those ETFs combined into one, and it consists of 30%. So if you look at it like that, really, I'm just following my own personal opinion. I just include a whole bunch of different ETFs into like one massive ETF or whatever it may be. I just guess that's one way of looking at it. But what's the reason why I'm investing into every single ETF? Like, come on, coach. Tell us, what is the reason? It comes down to 2 things. It comes down to empathy and it comes down to money. And I'll explain what I mean by both of them. Empathy. Basically, if I see someone's post on Robots Rising and says, Robots Rising today dropped 3%, and I see that and I'm not invested into Robots Rising, I can empathize and be like, well, I've lost 3% before. But if I lost 3% on my own money that same day, I can be like, wow, I can feel exactly what you feel on that 3% loss. Or I have experienced the same loss that you just experienced, so we can empathize together. Thus, we can have a deeper conversation about our experience together. I don't have to like try to figure out, find a way to relate to them. I can relate because I went through the same exact experience that they went through. Whether it be I only lost a certain amount of money where they lost maybe more money or whatever it may be, but we still both lost money. We still lost 3% on that ETF. Also, we can have a conversation about how we're going to handle that moving forward, what we could have done differently, what we should do next time, how we should handle this drop now. Or, for instance, if it was to rise, should we sell? Should we buy more? Should we just hold? Like, what exactly should we do looking forward? And we can have that same exact conversation because we have the same experience. And so thus it deepens the conversation that we're going to have. And second of all, money. I only care about where my money is in regards to investing. When I invest $20 into an ETF, that means that I care about the ETF because my money is there now. For instance, I have money in Bitcoin. I care about Bitcoin because I have money in there. If I was to sell all of the money that I have in Bitcoin, which would be like $40 or so, then I would not care about Bitcoin. I would care about Bitcoin only as it relates to the other crypto coins, cryptocurrency that I hold, because Bitcoin overall does affect the other cryptocurrency market. But as in regards to just Bitcoin, solely Bitcoin, I would care less about what Bitcoin does, fluctuates up and down. Only I would care about as it relates to what my other coins do. And this is the same with the ETF. So if I'm in an ETF on Stash and it drops, then yeah, I care about that. If I'm not an ETF and it drops, I'm like, hey, I didn't lose any money. I feel bad that you lost money. Maybe you should have picked a different ETF. Maybe what should you do better? Maybe you should have a different strategy. For me, if it doesn't affect my portfolio, then as far as money goes and investing, then why would I care about that? Besides the fact that on the personal side of things, I care about people. For me, I have to help myself by investing into those portfolios because I do care about people. I would rather sacrifice the little bit of return that I would get by only holding 10 to 15 ETFs or whatever stocks on Stash to help people have conversation and also empathize with you guys. Money is great, but I care about people a lot more than I do about my money. And I'll leave it right there. Let's go ahead and dive into the question of the day, which is, what is something that everyone looks stupid doing? There are two things that everyone looks stupid doing that I've come up with. And one is where you pat your chest and rub your head, or vice versa, rub your chest and pat your head. Like, I can't do that. And the second one is where you have to spin around before you go to whack a piñata. So those are the two things that I think people both of them, everybody looks stupid doing. It's like, well, you put the blindfold on, then you just spin around or whatever. Or where you hit to spin around with your nose on the bat. That also looks stupid. Everybody looks stupid doing that. Those are my top three choices to things that make everybody look stupid. Anyways, if you have any questions regarding Stash, Acorns, Robinhood, as well as general investing advice, business, Etsy, coaching, post those questions down below. Don't forget to subscribe up here and check out my Stash Recap December edition. Check out this other video right here. And as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.